I'm Liz Swenson.
And I'm Shauna Lander.
Welcome to Surviving Baby.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, Shauna.
Hi, Liz. We're doing episode 7.
What?
I know. Wait, is it 7?
Wait, no, it's 6.
No, it's not.
Really?
Yeah, it's episode 7 because 6 was sleep.
Oh my God, we're at 7.
We're at 7.
We're like almost done.
I know,
That
we're
makes me
trucking
kinda
through
sad.
it.
Wow.
That's so funny. You were ready to correct me.
I know. I was like, no, it's crazy. I'm having so much fun.
I know. I'm having so much fun too.
You are a wealth of wisdom. I feel like I learn something from you every day.
Oh, I feel like I learn something from you all the time.
Yay.
This is fun. Just basically a circle jerk right now. A lady one, though, Liz.
More of a visual.
And on that note, let's talk
Oh
about
my
baby
God.
stuff.
Okay, so
So today we're talking about
self.
when did you start becoming a self again or start feeling like a self again after having a baby?
Being a self.
Yeah, because you have the baby
Yep.
comes out, and then you're like, there has never been anything so important to you as getting this right.
You don't have brain capacity for anything else.
You just kind of like throw everything you've ever known away to focus on this cutie you got.
That's why, like, when you see random strangers, like, guess how many times they pooped today?
Did you do that?
Yes, totally.
Awesome.
All I wanted to talk about. Like, Casey would
Baby
get home
scoop.
and I'd be like, he pooped 3 times. We had 2 good naps. One wasn't so great.
It's very important.
And that's my life. So, self.
Self.
So, when do you feel like you are a self again?
Or like
Okay,
you can even like be a self. Like you
Can I dive in
have
on this one?
agency. Yeah, dive in. Go. What you got?
Never.
Oh no. Never.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Never.
Oh, my heart sank to my butt.
Okay, so here's my thoughts.
What
on
do you
it.
yeah, what do you mean?
I think that as humans, we like a story.
That's true.
And so we like to think of our lives as these stories. Like, there was this time where I was in love and then I got married and then we had baby. You know what I mean? Like, it's this like sing-songy like rhythm to our lives.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you are changing in that moment. Like, everything is different, but everything was different before. So everything just keeps being different all the time. And so being self, like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? What do you mean?
So, sorry, am I getting like way too?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Bring it back to earth and we'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll bring it back to earth. I think that what we mean by like, when did you feel like yourself again? So when did you shut off that constant, all I care about is baby, and like start to once again pay attention to your body, pay attention to your brain and your heart and your, everything. So when does that shift happen? I think the first 3 months it doesn't because you're absorbed. I think the next 6 months it doesn't because now you're kind of adjusting. But then 6 months after that, maybe this situation that you're in now starts to feel normal. And so now, not that you're like back to yourself again, but now you can start to really honor yourself again.
But how does that mean that you're not ever going to be a self again?
I think that you're always constantly in a state of flux.
Oh, okay.
So I think that like that idea that you were something before is kind of not really real. And then
Are you saying
sorry.
that you are always evolving?
Yes.
Oh, I agree with that.
So I had Truman and then I had Hendrik and they were back to back. It was like 60 months apart. So it was like baby. And I definitely did not feel like my body was mine during that time. I kept telling my husband, I want my body back. I wanted it to be mine. I wanted to like be an autonomous person that made my own decisions about what I ate, drank, or whatever.
Yeah. Not sharing your body with someone.
Not sharing my body any longer. So I definitely had that itch. But as far as like self, going back to like honoring yourself, I think I had the babies. Things kind of finally started settling down. They finally started sleeping. And then it took me a year or 2. And I started kind of noticing that I had really strong needs too.
So you got pregnant when your first was 16 months?
No,
No.
9 months.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes
And
perfect
then
sense.
He was 16 months when he was born. So then I was like...
So you didn't start to
So, yeah.
feel like a self or like an individual or like even an inkling that you wanted to feel like an individual for like 3 years?
Like 2.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I started fantasizing about yoga. Like I couldn't, like every picture I pinned was of people doing yoga poses. And I was like, "Rrr," like, look at that. Like, I want to stand on my head.
Ooh.
Like,
Nice.
But I was desirous of it. Like I desired yoga. I remember talking to one of my husband's friends and he was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm desperate for yoga."
Oh my God. I wish I was there. That's amazing.
And he was like, "Cool, like you should do that." I was like, "Why am I talking to you about this?" And I got home and I looked at Casey. I was like, "We have to figure something out. We have to I have to figure out a way to do yoga. Like I have to." And so I figured out these holes in my schedule where the kids were at preschool and I didn't feel guilty about not being with them in that moment because they were napping at their preschool. And so I knew that it was okay because crazy mom guilt, if I'm not working, I have to be with my kids. So them sleeping was like, okay, I can actually do some yoga.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing yoga like 5 days a week for like 6 months straight. And then my schedule changed and I haven't done really yoga since. Like it pittered out. But here's the thing. Okay. So here's the point of my very, very long tribe.
Did you say triatribe?
Diatribe. Did I say it wrong?
No, I think I just heard it wrong. Go on.
Oh, okay. So to be a self, you really have to fight for it and prioritize it and schedule it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, there's no self.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
But it's both. Well, so I think it's both. So I think one, you're always evolving.
Yeah.
That's my big thing is like.
So there's no going back to yourself where you were before because that person is no more because you've evolved.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you for saying what I was trying to say that I couldn't say.
Well, I think you said it, but it took a long time, Liz.
I know. I think that my story went in circles forever. But as far as like truly taking care of yourself, and that needs to happen through persistence and prioritizing it. I'm not currently at that place right now in my life. I've got a 16-month-old and I'm working full time. So when I'm home, I want to be with my baby.
And you're not prioritizing being a self.
And then I've got this other book project and all these other fun projects that are happening. And it's like, I can't even.
So it's not currently a priority to prioritize being a self for you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm in like that. No, I want to. I just can't right now.
Okay. Because you've got other stuff going on.
Yeah. The work baby balance is very hard for me.
It's super hard.
Like to be able to take that time to do something. Like I feel like in the summer, and that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
About 7 weeks. In the summer, I will be like, I'm going to go to yoga, babe, because I've been with my baby and I've gotten my baby fill.
Yeah.
I'm starting to crave it really strongly again. And so I'm hoping basically what it did before was it reached a fever pitch where I was like, I have to take care of myself and I need to be a self.
Yeah. I hope that you reach that sooner than later too.
Yeah. I feel out of alignment right now.
Because you're not taking time to be a self.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that a lot of women struggle with that because there's a lot of guilt. You do want to be with your baby.
The guilt is so gnarly.
You have a supportive partner.
Such a supportive partner.
Yeah.
Casey's constantly like, go.
Aww.
Go run, go yoga. Like, yes,
Aww.
like he prioritizes it. Well, because I think he knows that when I'm healthier and happier, then
you're nicer. Isn't that the truth? You know what? That is the truth.
It is the truth. Am I talking about the right self, by the way? Like we say self.
I think so.
What self are we talking about? Are we talking about like?
When we talked about the topic, it was you have a baby and you're so focused on baby, but when is it that you start to find some room for yourself in there? Right? I think that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Like you said in previous conversations, your brain has rearranged.
Yeah.
And so self will be different.
Yeah. Self is different.
I want to hear your story because I'm super interested.
So I completely agree with you that self is different now and self has evolved and will continue to evolve and is always evolving. I felt that same sort of thing where it took me a while to feel like I was allowed to focus on myself again. However, I was intensely creative after the baby came almost immediately. It was like 3 or 4 weeks in, and my entire worldview shifted, and suddenly I had a whole new purpose in life. But also, it was as if like my brain, my creativity, like cracked open, and in a very real sense, it was a new birth. Everything just like shot out of me when the baby came. And it just kept coming.
Literally
so like
and figuratively.
so those like 2 a.m. feedings, or for me pumpings, when I was like strapped to a breast pump in the middle of the night and John has already fed the baby and gone back to sleep and the baby's back to sleep and I'm the only one up pumping, I started blogging and writing down the stories. I couldn't not do it.
Ooh.
And so I had moments like from the very beginning where I felt twinklings of a self, but I wasn't able to like act on any of them.
Isn't that funny? I did that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Wait a minute, you did that too.
Like you're saying this and I'm like, I couldn't help myself from writing a pitch to a publisher when my baby was asleep for 3 hours. And then I compulsively wrote a book for the following 3 months.
Yeah, so you're lying.
Of my child's life. And it was incredibly fulfilling. So what is a fucking self, Shauna?
Exactly. What is the self?
Shauna, what is this?
So we've gone off course here.
Now I just want to know.
We've lost control.
Like, wait, maybe we're always selves.
I think that we're always the self. And I think that you were right on when you said that you're just always evolving. It's simply that everything is new. So like when baby came out, you became a whole new person along with baby. So now it's about sifting through all of the goop.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively to find this like new person that you are.
Yes.
I always talk about it as if like the baby came out and it was as if everything all of a sudden now is in Technicolor. Like I could hear colors. Everything is just brighter and more saturated, more intense and more. Everything is more. And it's kind of a lot to process. Change is difficult for me. Change might be difficult. I think change is difficult for everyone.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you just want things to go back to the way they were, and you just want to feel some normalcy again. But there's no finding the normalcy that you had before. And for some people, that's terrifying.
Totally. No, I think the way things were is a myth.
I think so too. But it's sort of like if you shift your perspective, if you shift your thinking to sort of align with where you are a little bit more and think about like, maybe this is exciting that I get to discover who I am and what I like now. Maybe it doesn't have to be a scary thing or a sad thing that I'm no longer that person. Maybe now this gets to be like
a rebirth.
Your baby is enjoying the hell out of their birth.
They do.
They're like, what? I'm here. It's all happening. I'm figuring it out. I hate this tummy time, but I don't mind it as much if the tummy time is happening on mom's tummy. Like they're working it out. And I think that's what mom's doing too. Everything is different, but mostly in a cool way. And so maybe, just maybe, something cool will come out of it in terms of who I am.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just like, what is self? Like that is a thing that's happening in my head right now. And so I'm like in this little like yogi pretzel right now. Like, what is
the self?
Self is this moment.
It is this moment.
I mean, the fact that you and I are doing a fucking podcast right this moment,
Uh-huh.
we're being our damn selves.
Yeah, we're
How
selfing.
cool is that? We are selfing so hard.
We're selfing real hard right now.
And like, I wrote a fucking book.
Yeah.
Like, probably my greatest accomplishment of my entire life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that happened in the first 3 months. So if I wasn't being myself then, so I don't think I went anywhere.
I don't think you went anywhere either, but this was your third baby.
That's true.
On your first baby,
That's
there's
true.
a whole lot of giving up of who you are in order to figure out this baby.
Yeah, you're in a tunnel for a while.
This is terrifying and exhilarating, and you want to get it right. So there's a lot of giving up of who you once were in order to get to that feeling of, okay, all right, I got a handle on this. I know what I'm doing.
Well, like always, Shauna, when we do this fucking podcast, I start processing things in a way that I never, ever, ever processed them before. Like, you had this huge, exuberant, creative release.
I did.
And so did I.
And I think that most women do.
So you experienced that first baby.
Yeah.
What about second baby?
Yeah, and second baby.
Yeah.
Second baby, though, I knew what was happening. So I was a lot calmer about everything,
Mm-hmm.
far less stress, far less pressure on myself, and way more acceptance of what is happening now. For a long time, she didn't want to nap anywhere other than in my lap. And that happened with my first baby too.
That's
and
right.
with my second baby for about 2, maybe 3 days, it really annoyed me. And I really was like, oh, there's so much other stuff that I want to be doing right now. And then I just sort of went, what else do I want to be doing right now? What else is there? What's the big deal? And kind of took a breath and sort of was like, this is a moment in time. And she's going to decide that she doesn't want to nap in my lap anymore, just like the other one did. And so this will be over. And so I just kind of decided to embrace it and enjoy it. And I was right. It passed.
I think that is the big secret that veteran parents have over the newbies is you have watched things come and go so often and so quickly that when you get like a crazy week, you're like, yeah.
It's just going to pass in a minute.
I feel like I took so much brain power in the beginning. Like,
yes,
I need to understand and figure it out.
And that's why the self goes by the wayside. And so the shift happens when you can sort of settle in. So I think that you do get those little inklings of, I want to be a person, I want to be an individual. And it's just about, when does it become unbearable enough for you to actually put yourself first for an hour?
Yeah, an hour.
What's the tipping point?
Yeah.
And I think based on this conversation, it sounds like it's a really individualistic thing.
Right.
So for me, it was 6 months. For you, it was 2 years.
Totally.
You are quite literally on your own motherhood journey.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same as anyone else's. And so there's no standard for how to find yourself, how to find your new self on this path.
I love that. Every mom does it in their own way and has their own, I don't know, balancing. I hate that word.
Why do you hate that word?
Because it doesn't exist. You don't balance. You sacrifice.
Oof, the weight of that.
But you do. You're not going to spend some time with your kids. You're going to spend some time on yourself, which means you really, really, really have to know how important and special you are and how important it is for you to love and care for you.
And it's hard to know that as a first-time mom in that first year when you're trying to figure out that baby.
All you want to do is care for that baby.
Yeah.
And you're like, baby, baby, baby,
Yeah.
baby, baby.
So
baby,
it's
baby.
incredibly normal to feel so discombobulated. And it literally is just, when do you hit your breaking point? So it's kind of like, well, you answer the question.
When are you going to feel like yourself again?
When you decide
to.
That's the answer.
Oh.
When you decide that it's important enough.
Sorry, audience.
Or you're welcome,
Sorry.
audience.
You're welcome, friends.
Yeah.
You are yourself again when you choose to be yourself again.
Yeah. When you decide that
You want to prioritize some of the things that you really care about, some of the things that really inspire you or make you feel good.
And it's okay. It's okay to give yourself away completely to this new human. And it's okay to feel like you want some time to be yourself.
Totally okay. And guess what? All of our children are happy and healthy and fine.
Yeah.
Shauna, I have a question for you.
What?
What do you wish you would have known about this self thing before?
Ooh. I wish I would have known that it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments when you feel like, oh my God, what have I done? This is just forever now, are fleeting. They will pass. They pass quicker than you think they do. If I could go back and tell myself to just kind of settle in and take a breath and shift my focus to not worrying about when am I going to be able to do the thing that I love again, and focus more on, I will be able to do the thing that I love again. Right now I'm doing this thing that I love. I wish I would have known that in those moments. What do you wish you would have known?
I wish that I would have known when I started to feel that feeling of like, who am I? What is this? Like, where did things go? You know, just that feeling that you get when you're a new mom and you're desperate and tired and you're dirty, you're tired, and you're missing yourself. In that moment, see if you can maybe ask your partner if they can give you a little bit of time to take a moment and reclaim it. Paint, draw, take a walk in nature. It's okay.
Ooh, that's powerful. That kind of gives me chills. Even the thought of giving yourself permission to take that moment.
I love that.
Liz, we have come to my favorite part of the show.
Woo woo!
Woo woo! It is time for definitions. Do you have a favorite word or phrase
Okay,
that
well,
you learned when you were trying to figure out how to be a self?
the most I've ever thought on this topic is during this conversation that we had just now. So I'm going to say that my favorite word, maybe you're not going to like this word, but I'm going to say my favorite word is existential.
It is a bit heady and existential.
It's an existential crisis, or
It's an existential question at the very least. It does feel like a crisis.
it does. Who is self?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah, well, and that's because you're brand new and you don't know who you are anymore because it's now time to figure it out.
Yep, I like
Yeah.
it. Okay, I'm sticking with my word. Did you like it?
That's a good word. Yeah,
Yay.
good for you.
What is your word, Shauna?
My word is mindset.
Mindset.
Mindset. Yes.
I like that.
Because to be a self, to figure out self after becoming a mom, you have to put yourself into the right mindset. You have to decide that everything that has happened is what it is, and you have to accept that sometimes you're elated and sometimes you're exhausted and sometimes you're dreading life and sometimes you are on cloud 9, and all of it is part of who you're becoming. And if you can accept all of that, your mindset can shift from one of being afraid and mourning the loss of who you were into embracing who you're becoming.
You are always becoming.
I agree with that. And if you have the mindset that this is all terrible and I hate it, you're going to have a much harder time coming back to a place where you feel like you've got a handle on things.
In that moment, you can choose. You're choosing.
You're choosing. That's exactly what mindset is.
It's a choice.
Yeah. And you can make the choice.
Like, wow, I think that's kind of some like profound crap right there.
I know. I kind of have chills right now. So, did that get depressing?
No,
Are you depressed now?
I'm not depressed. It was a very interesting conversation.
That was interesting. I did not expect it to go that way at all.
I didn't either. I'm sorry. I like dove right in with like, we are always evolving.
I know, you freaking weirdo.
Except I'm not.
Just
Except
kidding.
I'm not.
And with that, she is Liz.
And she's Shauna.
We hope that you've enjoyed this weird conversation that we had today.
This was a weird one.
This was weird. I enjoyed it.
I feel like I learned some things. Like
I feel like I did too. And I feel a little bit better.
Yay.
We have so much fun talking every single week. And I really hope that,
You're enjoying listening.
yeah, as much as we are enjoying the conversations. If you're not following Liz already, she is at Liz Swenson BFF on social media.
She is at Shauna the Mom on all social media platforms.
Uh-huh.
And you have to listen because she's my favorite and she makes me giggle all the time.
Thanks, Liz.
Don't forget to subscribe
Oh,
if you're not
yeah.
already.
And leave us comments or, what are they called?
Feedback.
Reviews. Yeah, and feedback. And if you have any questions that you want us to address or anything like that, we're all ears, man.
Woo woo.
All right.
Love you, Shauna girl.
I love you too, girl. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.